Congressman Scott Fitzgerald, who represents Wisconsin's 5th Congressional District. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Stephanie. Good to be with you.
House Speaker Mike Johnson seemed to express optimism the House will be able to pass a budget reconciliation before Memorial Day. Last week in the judiciary, you voted to provide over $100 billion for border security in the reconciliation bill. Where do things stand now?
Yeah, a lot of the committees were able to get some of their work done last week. And certainly both Judiciary and Financial Services, the two committees that I serve on, we had some long days and went well into the night, but we were able to accomplish what the Speaker and leadership had asked us to do, which was to come up with the savings that would put us in a good place to ultimately pass the larger bill that the president's been calling for. So we've got still some major committees that are Energy and Commerce, certainly this week. Into next week, we'll be finishing their product, which includes some of the stuff related to Medicaid. And
House GOP Majority Leader Steve Scalise says 8 of the 11 committees will have completed their reconciliation markups by the end of the week. Talking a little bit more about border security, I want to ask you this. A bipartisan group of more than 150 retired judges sent a letter to Attorney General Pam Bondi criticizing the arrest of Judge Hannah Dugan. Just a reminder for our viewers, she was arrested late last month on charges she helped an illegal immigrant evade arrest after appearing in her courtroom a week earlier. What's your reaction to this letter being sent and the debacle that's formed since?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still trying to focus on the overall message related to the border, which is that ever since President Trump has been sworn in, there's kind of been a message sent globally that, the back door in America is not open anymore. And then beyond that, what I saw in my own hometown, right, my own backyard in Milwaukee, related to some of the calls that have been made by some of the judges, including assisting an individual to escape out the back door at a Milwaukee Circuit Courthouse. These are the types of things that I think kind of enrage Americans and puts a little more focus on the idea that this has been a dangerous situation that the country's been put in, and we're trying to react to that and come up with both legislation and work with DOJ, including AG Bondi, to make sure that we continue to push forward and have the resources available to stop what has been going on in this country for the last 4 years.
And it's amazing to see the protests that have ensued since then. Now, I want to go back to the House is set to vote to codify President Trump's renaming of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. Tell us more about the significance of this.
Yeah, so we had a debate on the rule related to that, but certainly I think leadership, specifically the Speaker, has been pushing to make sure that this is kind of the tip of the spear. This is one of those items that for some people might look like it's not very significant, but the fact of the matter is we are trying to codify what the president's been doing. And I think legislatively, anytime you get the ball rolling on some of this stuff, it seems to help. It seems to create momentum, seems to get the conference moving in the right direction. And I think the bill that we're working on related to renaming, if you will, the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America is just one of those bills. So it looks like it's got the support right now, and we'll see as the week goes on.
And we know President Trump wants Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell to cut interest rates, but Powell has urged caution to see how the tariffs play out. You sit on the Financial Services Committee. How concerned are you about rising inflation due to these tariffs?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of discussion in every congressional seat, and certainly mine is no different. We've got a lot of specifically light manufacturers that are just as concerned, I think, about the supply chain issues as they are specifically about the costs associated with any of the tariffs. But, we've seen some nice progress this week. And Secretary Bassett has kind of yesterday made an announcement that I think is significant, that they'll be sitting down with China to initiate and start some discussions in and around the tariff situation. It's going to continue to be something that we're going to have to watch kind of on a weekly basis. And, things will become much clearer soon. The president continues to talk about how those negotiations are going. Obviously saying that we've got a number of countries that have reached out already. So I'm hopeful this will play out. Some of us were around in 2020 when we saw some of the effects of the tariffs. And I think there's a lot of American companies that are prepared to deal with some of the fallout, including trying to fulfill and trying to find suppliers for some of those needs that they have.
Absolutely. Well, we know that the next inflation report, the Consumer Price Index report, will be released next week for the month of April. So we'll see what that shows and what the following months, what they show as well. Again, Wisconsin Congressman Scott Fitzgerald, thank you so much again for your time.